Hello everybody, fellow readers. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Doing More with Less, The New Way to Wealth by Bruce Piasecki. I don't know if that's really how you pronounce his name. P-I-A-S-E-C-K-I. Piasecki. Piasecki? I don't know. The author refers to Ben Franklin a lot. I would say go get the books about Ben Franklin and what he says about wealth rather than reading this book. I don't recommend reading this book at all. So all those people out there that I usually recommend books to, they say, oh man, I got to get another book. You don't have to get this book. This book, I guess this guy is a liberal, and it just made me wonder why people bother writing books if they're going to if they're basically going to regurgitate something from the past. I mean, if you're going to write a book, you should either refute something from the past or add to it, add to the body of knowledge. And I guess in a way he thinks he's doing that, but no, I don't think so. But there are a few pages I'd like to quote from, mainly because of the facts that they reveal and because it's kind of telling. And this first one tells, I guess, the attitude of the author. And I guess this is what turned me off. Page 73. Whether we are facing health risk, floods, or collapsing roofs, car accidents, or other untoward events during work or play, we have the right to ask for help. And society has a job to offer that help. Now, I just flat out disagree with that. We have the right to ask for help. Well, you know how I feel about rights. If you've been watching my videos over the past year or so. If you go out into the ocean, swim underwater or swim along the surface, scuba dive, deep sea dive, whatever, you're in the food chain. And the right that you have, the only right is you have whatever it takes. You can do whatever it takes to do to keep another creature from eating you. That's your right. Swim away, kill it, just do whatever it takes to keep from getting eaten. That's the only right you have. And here on the surface, the law pretty much applies. That's your only right. I mean, I say you have the right to breathe because you can't really not breathe. I mean, once you're born, you start breathing. Even though, I guess if Obama and the rest had their way, they'd put a breathing tax on you. Then you have the right to go to the bathroom, because if you eat and drink, if you put it in one end, it's got to come out the other. It's just the way the body works. Even though they want to tax you on that, and they make it illegal for you to do it in certain places. But you see, the animals and creatures, they don't worry about those laws, just men. So we don't really enforce those animals, enforce the law on those animals. In some cases we do. But my point is that we don't have the right. I mean, we have the right freedom of speech here in this country. We believe in that. But you see, that's all conceptual in nature. But here, on this planet, and any other planet as far as I'm concerned, you just have the right to do what it takes to stay alive and keep other creatures, things from harming you. Now, and he says, and society has a job to offer that help. No, society does not have a job to offer that help. It's not the job of society. Because you see, once again, that society is a concept. It doesn't really exist. Sure, man is tribal and some animals have flocked together or they run in herds or packs, but it's not society's job to offer help. Because you see, that takes us down a bad path. Now, that's my opinion. And you see, there are some societies, like the Amish, where they do work together. That's their cultural upbringing. And that's their belief system. So you see, these are belief systems. And once again, if you get one group of people trying to impose their belief system on another group, that's when you start to have wars. So you see, just that thinking, it's that society's job to offer that help. That, to me, that's just wrong. It's just flat out wrong. And I can't agree with it. It's nice. It might be considered civilized. But does that mean that I have to offer help? Because who's society but a bunch of individuals? So if I don't want to do it, am I going to be coerced into offering the help? I hope I've made my point clear. Now, page 76, figure 3.2, the poverty of today. Now here's some interesting facts. I think we're somewhere between 7 and 8 billion people on planet Earth right now. But economic poverty, over 2 billion people live on less than $2 a day. Did you know that? That's basically 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 people. Energy poverty. 1.6 billion people today without access to electricity. That's kind of funny because I just had my friend Robert over yesterday and I was showing him this book. I say, "Hey Robert, that's you." Because he's off grid. My neighbor down that way to the northwest, he's off grid. That's by choice. But I guess in a way they have some batteries, so I guess that's electricity. So I guess maybe they're not really in the energy poverty category. Mobility poverty. 900 million people without access to transportation. We kind of all laughed at that because we say, well, don't they have legs? Can't they walk? That's transportation. But I guess maybe they mean planes, trains, automobiles, ships. I don't know. Do bicycles count? Water poverty. 1.8 million deaths per year due to lack of sanitation, poor hygiene, and unsafe drinking water. That's in the 21st century. This book was copyright 2012, by the way. But if you think about it, I mean, in the city of Mayberry here, a couple times a year they have those brown alerts where they tell people that the water, you need to boil it before drinking. And here we are in America, 21st century, and the drinking water is not always safe. Me, I don't care where I go. I've got a pure water filter, and I always filter the water before I drink it, because I just don't trust it. Now, here's another interesting statistic or fact. Page 130. Of the 100 largest economies in the world, 56 are not nations. They are huge, earth-spanning corporations, often working in more than 115 nations. So in other words, companies have more or larger economies than some countries. Now that's pretty interesting. It's one of those future world kind of things where the corporations are running everything. But they do now anyway. It's called lobbyists. Now, the 100 largest multinational corporations control about 22% of global foreign assets. Companies like Google, HP, Walmart, Toyota, and Shell. Think about that. And 300 multinationals, corporations, now account for at least a third of the world's total assets. Now here's in the fourth one, now listen to this closely. More than 44% of world trade now occurs within these top multinationals. It's almost half. That's kind of scary. You're wondering who's running the show? And okay, finally, the last thing I'd like to share with you from this book, page 134. According to United Nations studies, almost 3/4 of the world's population will live in cities by the year 2050. In other words, 3 out of 4 people are going to live in cities. So in other words, for the first time in human history, more people live in these urban mega clusters, as he calls them, than they do in places like this. So anyway, like I said, I really can't recommend this book. It's not what I thought it was going to be. And he talks about frugality, but I just have to give it a thumbs down.